Take a breath because today I want to talk about something that I think is incredibly important, especially after a healing or an activation work or clearing work or any spiritual work or moments when you feel something deeply shift within you. What happens after that activation? What happens after the breakthrough? After the healing session, after the transmission, after the clarity arrives? What do you do with that newly opened energy, that fertile space? I think sometimes people believe the activation itself is the end point, but really it's often the beginning. Once something opens within you, once something clears, once the body softens enough to receive something new, now comes the embodiment. Now comes the anchoring. And this is where we begin dropping into the physicality of the work, into our nervous system, into the neural pathways, into the environment we live inside every single day. If your nervous system does not have the capacity to hold what has opened, the system will often return to what is familiar. Not because the healing wasn't real, but because the body has not yet learned how to safely live inside the new experience. And this is why what we repeatedly expose ourselves to matters so deeply, because your nervous system is constantly being shaped, constantly being primed by the conversations you stay inside of, the music you listen to, the media you consume, the environment you live in, the energy around you, the people you surround yourself with. None of it is neutral because your nervous system is always listening and always learning what life is supposed to feel like. And over time, what you repeatedly experience becomes familiar to your body, even if it limits you, even if it drains you, even if it keeps you small. So after the activation, after the opening, after the healing, the question becomes, what am I now teaching my nervous system to normalize? Because embodiment is not only about receiving the light, it is about creating internal and external conditions that allow the light to root. And that is where we're going today. So, are you ready? Let's begin. Hello, hello, beloveds. Hello, and welcome back to the Sovereign Goddess podcast. If you've noticed, I've been talking more about the embodiment piece of the work. And it is very important. I hope the more you listen to this, the more you realize how we can bring our body or how important it is to bring our body into the process. There's something that I've been thinking about deeply lately. And the more I learn about the nervous system and neuroscience, the more I realize that we are constantly being shaped by what we repeatedly expose ourselves to, whether that is music, whether that is the shows that we watch, whether that is the people we surround ourselves with, the environment that we live in, the conversations that we take a part in. None of it is neutral because your nervous system is always listening, always learning, always adapting. And over time, what you repeatedly consume becomes familiar to your body. And that is important there because familiarity equals safety in your nervous system. And sometimes familiarity is it looks like you being stuck. It might be you being in the same painful patterns over and over, right? It's not always Good. The nervous system just equals familiarity with safety. In that case, then how do we shift things? How do we really truly shift things when our own very nervous system thinks that a pattern that we've been stuck in over and over is the safe zone? And this comes into play. I'm going to give you an example. For example, let's say you sign up with a coach who, let's say, has helped many women achieve $10,000 a week. This is just an example I'm given, right? And so you sign up with this coach and hope that you will also do that. You've done everything that this coach has told you to do, that all the other women have done. And actually, the other women in your cohort are already experiencing success. But for you, for some reason, it seems like you are stuck and you're not receiving that same success. It's not that you're not doing the work, it's because your nervous system doesn't feel safe to expand beyond the cap that you have for it. Perhaps your cap is $1,000 a week and you've been stuck there for a while, right? And maybe you do 1,000 or even lower than that. But the moment you hit the 1,000, your nervous system is like, this is the sweet spot. We can't go anymore. Like we can't go any higher. And so anything above that, your nervous system sees it as a threat and then creates blockages against it. And that could come up as it's hard to even see the opportunities. It's hard to see what it is that you need to do in order to break through. If your nervous system doesn't see something as safe, it's like you're blind to it. You're blind to whatever that is. You're not able to see it until you prime yourself. And this is really what I want to talk about today. Until you prime yourself to begin to experience these little shifts that begin to tell your nervous system, oh, wait, getting $10,000 a week is actually normal. It's totally okay to expand into that. We are still safe, right? And in order for the nervous system to get to that part, it's like, yes, you can see the like what you need to do, the steps you need to take, but it requires repetition in order for it to get into that safety zone. And I feel like this whole part is the part that a lot of people miss, especially when it comes to the spiritual realm or the spiritual work, right? And it's not just the people who come in to get the spiritual work, but it's also, some of the coaches or the spiritual coaches or the spiritual healers who are offering the work, right? If you work with someone and you do for example, a Reiki healing for them, and it seems like they're not getting the benefit, that it's not moving through. It's not that they don't want to, but it needs to go deeper. Like you need to work with them nervous system wise. You need to actually focus on the nervous system, focus on helping the nervous system see that it will be safe, that whole being, the person will be safe once they release or heal or change or, whatever that process is. I am realizing more and more how important our nervous system is. The nervous system is really what converts or allows us to live our heaven on earth. Because without the nervous system's approval, all that we're experiencing in that spiritual realm, as beautiful as it is, might never transcend down, might never root down or anchor into your life, which means that you won't see evidence of it or even live it. And our nervous system has experienced so much because as we're growing up, the things that we were told to do, that we've done it over and over. The patterns that we grew up, like the routines that we grew up doing, the things that we grew up hearing over and over became or rooted down and became the system through which our nervous system creates our experiences. The beauty of all of this is that once you realize that, okay, this is a pattern that I learned and I have been doing it for a long time and it's become who I am, I have the ability to shift it. That's the first step. The second step is even more important. The second step is not just taking the steps just like one time. It has to be just like you created the original pattern over time. In order to change the pattern, you have to keep doing the new thing over and over and over. And that's what creates a safety in the nervous system and also creates new neural pathways, which is what we want. This is how we shift. This is how we truly transform, or we bring transformation into the physical. Our nervous system is the key because if your nervous system doesn't feel safe to expand, doesn't matter how many DNA activations you receive, it's not going to happen. If your nervous system doesn't feel like, reaching that, getting or increasing your income in your business or getting more clients in your business, if it doesn't feel safe expanding in that direction, it's not going to happen. You're always going to stay stuck with the same amount of clients that you get because that's what you're comfortable with. It is so fascinating. So let's talk about priming because I mentioned that word. Priming is when we, like we basically, whatever we look at, whatever we hear more, we're telling our nervous system this is what we want. The more you interact with something, the more you're telling your nervous system that is what I want. And it doesn't matter if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Hence why if you keep watching the news, and the news is stressful and all the stuff that goes on in the news, eventually your nervous system is going to be like, that's the safe reality for us. That's what we need to create more in our lives. Just as if you are watching movies that motivate you, inspire you, make you feel like you can do anything, right? That movies that give you life, you're telling your nervous system, I want more experiences like this is the type of life that I want to live. We prime ourselves through the music we listen to, the people we surround ourselves with. This is so important. The type of conversations we're in, the content that we consume, like everything that we come into contact with, we are priming ourselves. And the more we do it, the more it creates a pattern with our nervous system. So if you want something to shift in your life, first identify what is that old pattern. And then next, you have to identify the new that you want to adopt. You want your nervous system to adapt to. And then you also identify the steps that you need to take. So for example, if you want to, let's say, if you want to lose a certain amount of weight, you identify that you need to go on a walk 3 times a week and you need to repeat it over and over and over. This is a great example because you know how, I don't know, I'm sure you've experienced this before where you start working out and it seems very hard at the beginning, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And also, even if you pause, your body starts to crave it. And so it makes it easy for you to continue doing it. Yeah, that's the nervous system. At that point, your nervous system is like, okay, this feels good, so we're gonna continue doing this, right? It is so incredible, like the the way our nervous system works, and if you're not aware of it, like how much that can also hold you back from the life that you know you're here to live. What priming does is preparing your nervous system for a certain experience. And as I've already mentioned, everything is priming us. From the moment we step out of the door, what we see, the cars that we drive by, the people we see, like everything is priming us. But we can consciously choose how we want to prime ourselves in regards to whatever that goal is, like what it is that you want to experience. The more I learned about the psychology of our brain and neuroscience, the more I realized that this should be an aspect that is combined in everything that we do. Because in order for our bodies to heal, our nervous system has to be in collaboration and online with that. In order for us to, create that joyful life that we're craving, our nervous system has to be primed for that. In order for us to call in our beloved partners, our nervous system has to view that as safe and be primed for that. And so I feel like this is something that it should be incorporated in everything, in all the different healing systems. You know, People who are primed for healing, when they come in to get their healing, let's say when they come in to get like a Reiki session or energy healing or an activation, they're the ones that you do one activation and it's just like boom. Like their business starts to skyrocket, like everything starts to shift in your life. The nervous system was already primed for it. It was already ready for that experience. But majority of people don't operate that way. Don't even know that your nervous system has its own way of living and it does not want to budge. Because I feel like the most important part here is the awareness of our own nervous system. What is the pattern your nervous system is operating in? Like that part is coming in. As I'm talking, I keep being pulled there because if there's anywhere we need to start, if there's anywhere that you feel like you need to start when we talk about the nervous system, because it is a big thing, and it is a word that gets thrown around. Nervous system, this, calming the nervous system. But do you understand your own nervous system? What is your nervous system telling you? I realize this. In one of my program, like I would love to have more women in that container. And I realized that for years I've been stuck in one number. I've been stuck in the same number of women in that program. And I can't seem to go beyond that. And I'm doing everything that I think, that I know that I can do. And then I realized I think I was listening to a podcast, one of my favorite neuroscientists, and she she did an exercise where she had us close our eyes and we brought into mind like what is that what is it that we want to change. So mine was like I wanted to have a certain number of women in my program, and so I brought that number, that sweet spot, into my body, and then I sensed how my body reacted to it, and it just like ooh, it was like nope. It tightened up. And I was like, oh, wow, yeah, it does not view that many women in that container as safe. And so I had to dive into why it doesn't view that as safe, why my nervous system doesn't view that many women in that container safe. And I realized is that I love the intimacy in the containers. Less women means that I get to really dive in deep with the women. More women means I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that anymore. Right. And so I had to really work with that. It's like, okay, if that's the case, then how do we do this? And I came up with a solution, a way that my work can reach more women without me losing the importance of that. So leaving that deeper, intimate work for like as a separate offering, if that makes sense. Another piece of this example is that when I checked in with my nervous system, and it tightened because it feels that if I open myself up to more people, then I won't have time to do the things that I love to do. And I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs feel this way, right? And so I came up with another solution. How do I reach more people? And then I worked through that. The first step again is the awareness. And then the second step, From that awareness, now that you know what that is, what your nervous system is holding you back or keeping you safe from, once you know the reason, then you can start taking the steps to begin to correct it, right? So, for example, I'm building an online community where you can come in and do the journey, right? And so, leaving the more intimate work to the few women who can step in there. And so, I still have different offerings I can still share without feeling like I am depleting myself, if that makes sense, right? And I also this what I'm learning is like this awareness is helping me to find ways or yeah, figure out ways that I can still, or even things that I can do to build myself up, to fill myself up so I can be of more service. I'm realizing that is important for my nervous system. I cannot run in depletion. It would not allow me to, which thank goodness, right? It is annoying, but thank goodness. It's like go fill yourself up. Let's do the things that fill you up. And then from the place of overflow, we can expand our capacity for more. Once you understand that, you can work with it. You can start to work with all the caps and the ceilings that have been put in place by your nervous system, preventing you from really reaching the heights that you know you're meant to be in. It's about working with your own nervous system, understanding your nervous system, understanding its needs, what it is that it's trying to protect you from. And also, what is that pattern that has been playing over and over? Perhaps you've seen other women do the same thing and they're okay with staying there. But you're like, I am not okay staying in that spot. I know I can do more. I know I can do better. But nobody showed you that. And so you're trying to figure it out. And that a big part of that figuring out is not just going out there and learning all that and taking the classes, it's also figuring out your own nervous system and what it needs. So this is something that comes in a lot. It does, like when you get a DNA activation or you get your healing work, like these potent work that can transform you and your life in every single way. Your nervous system has to be aligned. So just as the nervous system can be conditioned into survival, it can also become conditioned into safety, into that sweet spot. And it does this through repetition. Small moments repeated consistently begin changing the system. Soft music, breath work, rest, safe people. And when I say safe people, it's people that feel good in your system, people that make your nervous system feel good and safe. Breathing slowly, speaking kindly to yourself, creating spaciousness so that you can truly be and express yourself however way and you're meant to. All of these become signal to the body, to your nervous system. And over time, the nervous system begins expecting more safety, more calm, more openness, and more life, which is what we want. Ways to begin priming your nervous system differently. The first one is audit what you consume. So ask, how does this make my body feel? How does this show make my body feel? How does this, what I'm watching on social media, how does that make my body feel? The second one is create regulating inputs. So calming music, nature sounds, warm lighting, slower mornings, supportive conversations. The third one is limit constant stress exposure. Your nervous system was not designed for endless stimulation. The fourth one is spend time with people who feel safe, people who don't drain you, people who lift you up, people who inspire you. I love the fifth part. It's important. Prime yourself intentionally. Prime yourself intentionally. So how do you want to operate? What is the person? Who is the person you want to become? And how is she living? And begin to prime yourself in those ways. So, for example, priming yourself before you start your day, before you go to work, before meetings, before you create your content. This might look like something like taking a deep breath in and a long exhale. That's it. It might be like using visual cues. So you have a vision board, looking at the visual board or the vision board, taking a deep breath in. It might be having a cup of tea, a nice warm cup of tea, and taking small sips as you sit outside, breathing in the fresh air before your meeting. All of these little acts of feeling safe in your body is what restructures your nervous system, reconfigures your nervous system over time. The more you do it, the more it sticks. And the more you begin to see and experience the physical changes in your life. So let's go ahead and do a small exercise to get us started with this process. So take a deep breath in, close your eyes, place your hand on one hand on your heart, one on your stomach, and use each breath to center into your body. Bring it all here. Tune into yourself. The deep inhalation through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. Inhale through your nose and a long exhale through your mouth. Let's do this one more time. Deep inhalation through your nose and a long exhalation through your mouth. And go ahead and imagine that beautiful divine light from above through your crown into your third eye, into your throat, into your heart, moving into your stomach, your solar plexus, your sacral, your root, moving through your legs and into the earth, anchoring into the earth. And now another light from the center of the earth, moving up through your legs, into your body, anchoring into your heart, and then continuing upward into your energetic space. And then draw your attention into your heart, where your own divine light is burning. And see the two lights, the one from the Divine Father above and the Divine Mother below, combined with your own divine light. And it creates this powerful vortex within your heart. And in that vortex expands around you, creating a beautiful bubble of light around you. It's almost like a hug from the divine. And breathe in this space where you're connected to heaven and earth. And your own heart. Calling your guides and your higher self to be with you through this process, to help you bring your nervous system online safely. Beautiful. Now from here, bring your awareness to your life. And try not to step into judgment here. Just simply observation. And notice what you've been repeatedly exposing your nervous system to lately. Look at the conversations, the music, the media, the pace, the environment, the people, the emotional atmospheres you spend the most time inside of. And gently ask yourself, What have I been teaching my body to normalize? What have I been teaching my body to normalize? Take a deep breath in here and out. And just pause here. And really let yourself feel into it. Let it come to you. There's no right or wrong. Trust your nervous system. Because the nervous system learns through repetition, what it experiences over and over again, it begins to expect. So notice, does your environment make your body feel rushed, contracted, overstimulated, guarded, exhausted, emotionally heavy? Or does it make you feel softer, more open, grounded, nourished, safe enough to breathe, and more alive inside yourself? And as you reflect, notice what happens in your body. And don't get attached to the story. Stay with your body, because your body already knows. Simply observe. Now take another slow breath in and exhale even slower. And this time ask yourself, what would support my nervous system in feeling more safe, more nourished, more alive? What would support my nervous system in feeling more safe, more nourished, more alive? Maybe it is less noise, less urgency. Maybe it is softer music, more nature, more rest, different conversations, more spaciousness. Perhaps it's more time with people who feel grounded into your system. Whatever arises, don't rush to change everything at once. Healing often begins very quietly, with awareness, with noticing, with one small shift repeated consistently. And this is important to remember. Your nervous system is always adapting to what it lives inside of. Your nervous system is always adapting to what it lives inside of. So every small moment of safety, every nourishing choice, every gentle breath is teaching your body a new possibility. Now take a deep breath in and let this question stay with you. What kind of life am I teaching my nervous system to expect? What kind of life am I teaching my nervous system to expect? Just pause here. Let it come to you. No judgment, just simply awareness, because awareness changes everything. Your nervous system is always listening, always learning what life is supposed to feel like. And the more intentionally you choose your environment, your pace, your inputs, your relationships, the more you begin teaching your body that life does not have to feel like survival. And over time, that changes not only your nervous system, but the reality you're able to hold. Take a deep breath in and out. Now go ahead and breathe into you all that you've received today. And know that it is safe. It is safe for you to shift, to change, to heal, to want more, to create more. It is safe for you to embody the woman that you know yourself to be, to live the life that you know you're here to live, to create a business that blesses more than you can imagine. It is safe. You can do it. Take a deep breath in, and when you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome back. I want you to take some time with this episode. Take some time really sitting with your nervous system. You'll be amazed what it shows you. I know I'm blown away. And trust me, I've been doing this work in, in different levels for a long time. And I'm still learning what my body's telling me. This is one of those episodes that I want you to go move slow with. Take your time with, listen, write things down, and then take the steps one step at a time. The smallest step makes the greatest impact. Whatever your nervous system tells you to do it. Do it. No excuses. Do it. Because that is getting you ready for success. Is getting you ready to live the life that you know you're here to live. We're all here on this human journey, and part of the human journey is that we know ourselves deeply, because awareness is truly the key. When we know our own capabilities and capacities, there's nothing that can step in our way, nothing we cannot do. And when you're doing nervous system work, be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. All right, my loves. Until next time, as I'm learning, I will come and teach and share from my own experience. But this is also something that I am learning myself. I am deepening into myself. It's a game changer. Yeah. All right. Until next time, from my heart to yours. Bye.